Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are back. Another day in the market. Hope everybody's doing well. See what's in the chat. What's up, JG, William, Homeless, Zillionaire, Medi, Bony Nerd, JG, Brooks, Brewster's in here. What's up, Brewster? Maxime, Jane. Give me 1 second. Need to clear my throat. A little bit hard for me to talk right now. I don't know why. How's everybody doing? Yep, I did see your chart, Homeless Millionaire. Boney says options expire tomorrow. Yeah, we got quad witching tomorrow. Medi, we're going to be talking about Fisker and SDC. What's up, Chef Daddy Trader? JG, my tea is on the left. It's just kind of cooling down right now. I got home like an hour ago and I just had to shower, eat, do the dishes, get my tea, and go live. So kind of rushed to get live. I know I'm already 20 minutes late. And yeah, so here's pretty much going to be the rundown for the stream. I'm saying this in the beginning. I don't know if we're going to have time for take requests tonight because I'm already going live late. So most likely I don't think we're going to be doing take requests because I have a lot to talk about tonight. And no, it's not going to be a 40-minute rundown on CLOV. I actually have a lot of different tickers I want to talk about. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about. I'm going to break down the flow of the stream in a second here. I'm just seeing what's up with the chat because I'm kind of going to be non-stop talking for 45 minutes or something. Jonathan says, bought a $12 Fisker call near the day low thanks to your chart a few days back. Already up 20%, wish I bought more contracts. Yeah, we're going to talk about Fisker. I am wearing the Fisker hat. We got a lot to talk about on Fisker. Bounced at 1214. I shared a chart of Fisker on Twitter and in the Discord, and I've even showed it on stream many times with I think 1215 as a support, and it bounced right off of that today. So we'll get to it. We'll get to everything. So yeah, I don't know if we're gonna have time for take requests. We're gonna start off with Bitcoin. After we do that, we're gonna talk about the market. I'll probably share some lotto ideas for tomorrow while we talk about the market. After I finish all that, we'll talk about Clover. Then we'll talk about a few interesting tickers, which we already talked about last night, like Lucid, which was up 6% during the market, and then another 6% after hours. We'll talk about SDC, which we've been talking about since the start of last week. And yeah, and Fisker as well, obviously. So we got a lot to talk about. Let's get started with Bitcoin. Kind of flat, nothing too crazy, maybe a little bit of a semi back test, even if you go to the 1 hour, maybe a bull flag. Still looks fine as long as it holds above 46k to me. I just want to see it hold that. I mean, I don't know if this is super well defined, but maybe this could be an argument. A little bit of a potential inverse head, not inverse, a regular head and shoulders, something like this, but the head kind of looks like it's a little bit to the right. It's okay, I don't know, we'll see. Regardless, I just want to see it hold 46k. So that's really it for Bitcoin. In terms of Litecoin, it really hasn't moved much. It's just still kind of walking around that neckline. The trade is currently up 2% since the entry. It was up 28% 2 different times and just couldn't get to that first target. So nothing too crazy there. So yeah, we're going to talk about the market for a little bit, for a while maybe. So make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Right now futures are red, but they're not super red. They're just down a little bit. Brooks says your voice sounds like it's going to last 7.4 minutes, not 45. Yeah, it's been a long day. What else? Chef says, how do you do Bitcoin? Thoughts on Coinbase? Heard high fees. Love to start playing and getting feedback on favorite routes. I just use Coinbase Pro. It has much lower fees than the regular Coinbase, and Coinbase Pro is free. I still don't really get the model there. I know they advertise the regular Coinbase a lot more than Coinbase Pro, so maybe they want to kind of not keep it, a secret. I honestly think, and I have no clue what their standpoint on it is, but just from an outside perspective, I think they heavily advertise the regular Coinbase so that they can, make more money off fees from less educated crypto traders. And then I think Coinbase Pro, because it's free, I think Coinbase Pro is really the option that they have, that they don't advertise as much, but they just have it in case people start figuring out, wow, all these other exchanges have very, very low fees. I might move over to there, but then people figure out there's Coinbase Pro, which has lower fees. And even on Coinbase Pro, I don't know if they updated it, but you would not be able to have like limit orders on the regular Coinbase either. You would have to market buy and market sell everything. But on Coinbase Pro, you can actually have stop losses and limit sells and all that. So it's, yeah, I just use Coinbase Pro. That's the answer, but check out what's best for you. I know different exchanges are not allowed in different states, so there's a bunch of different things there. But yeah, Binance is probably like the largest one as well. And yeah, let's talk about the market. I don't know, maybe it's just a slower stream tonight, but we got a lot to talk about. DF says, is Coinbase Pro the same login for regular Coinbase? I think it is. But I'm not 100% sure. So yeah. What's up with the market? So I'm going to just kind of cover everything I'm seeing right now for the overall market. After I do that, we're going to talk about some potential lotto ideas for tomorrow. I'm going to give you all for free. So just starting off, overall today, pretty mixed. I mean, just kind of flat overall for the market. You had some intraday volatility, but let's see what's up. So we still have hidden bullish divergence developing on the daily and the 4-hour for the S&P 500, which looks good. You're still in this upsloping channel. You're still above the 50-day moving average on the daily. So not much of a change from last night, which is good. That's a good thing. Pretty good day. I mean, just kind of held up what we held yesterday. A little bit of a run down in the morning, but the market recovered, bounced off lows. Even on the 1-hour chart, you have inverse head and shoulders on like all the major indices. So we're going to talk more about that later. But yeah, that's really it for the S&P. In terms of the NASDAQ, really not much of a change either, just still hidden bullish divergence. QQQ has hidden bullish divergence. IWM doesn't have hidden bullish divergence, but it's been doing pretty good ever since it painted this 4-hour bullish engulfing candle on the 15th, which was yesterday. So yeah, just kind of flat. There's not really too much of an update for the market. The ARK was actually up 0.64% today, which is good. It kind of went up to this 119 resistance level, where you can see from these lows, and from these highs. So that's really what's going on with the ARK for all of you growth traders. Hidden bullish divergence on the 4-hour there as well. So just kind of, in my opinion, short-term bullish. We got quadruple witching tomorrow, so we'll see how that kind of, works or goes. So yeah, let's see what else is in the chat. What's up, Seek for Bleak, Big Nate, Florida Nick. All right, so feels like there's too much in the chat. Yeah, so my thoughts on the market going into tomorrow. Quad witching for new traders is just like a pretty important expiration date for different derivatives like options. So you have a lot of stocks you're going to see with September 17th expiration dates when you look at the calls and the puts. So we have that tomorrow. Really, I haven't seen too much of anything crazy on quad witching days this year and last year. I can't remember them all, but it's just a day where you could see a little bit of funny things happening just because of, there might be options chains that are extremely loaded. So there might be some, market makers trying to hedge or whatever. And then on top of that, you might have, I'm not going to say smart money, but I'm going to say big money reorganizing their portfolios if they have calls expiring or they're selling calls or whatever it is. Because a very common strategy for, large institutions is to, especially covered calls, they like to sell them. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens tomorrow. That's the only thing. I'm about to talk about some lotto ideas. Just keep in mind it's a quad witching day. So it's, on top of lottos in general just being like gambling, you also have quad witching on top of that. So, and I'm not saying like literally gambling. I just mean like in terms of probability. When you're playing lottos, you gotta be careful. So I'm gonna be bringing up some potential lotto ideas for tomorrow. I just charted them on my phone earlier. I already got them written down. But let's get to 20 legs before I do that. I don't want to start until we're at 20 legs. So let's get there first. And then for all of you day traders, I'll share my thoughts on some potential lottos for tomorrow. What's up, Eric in the chat? Florida Nick says your CLOV Lotto worked. Yeah, it's all right. Got a 20% day trade on CLOV today with options. Nothing too good. I was hoping for more, honestly. But we're 3 for 3 in the last 3, which is good. We had a little bit of a rough start to the week with option. I mean, it was only like 1 or 2 failed trades. Then we had like 4 winners now. So kind of trying to turn the week around. It's been so far so good yesterday and today. Hopefully we can keep that going tomorrow if you're a premium member. What else? Alfredo, we are going to be talking about Clover after I talk about some potential lotto ideas. Bony Nerd says, I've noticed most price movement going into witchings are manipulated like 2 to 3 days prior. Just speculation. I mean, there's so many different things that can come from wad witching, but also at the same time, there's maybe sometimes nothing happens, right? I did not play OPAD today. I know a lot of people were talking about that. It was kind of the hot ticker of the day. I haven't even looked at the chart. So yeah, kind of was too busy to do that. So yeah, let's talk about lottos. I wrote some stuff down. There we go. We got the 20 likes. So before I even just share the ideas for tomorrow, keep in mind there's a few things you want to know. Lottos are pretty much lower probability trades compared to normal trades. Time is not in your favor when you're trading lottos, but at the same time, in terms of potential reward, it could be. So basically, it's just super high risk, high reward, right? Especially if you're playing out of the money calls or puts, you do risk losing however much you put into those contracts. So this is not for newer traders. Definitely, if you do play lottos, know how to manage your risk, position sizing, stopping yourself out, all of those things. So yeah, just keep all that in mind. None of this is financial advice. These are just very rough ideas. If they don't work, don't get mad at me. If they do work, thank me. I'm just kidding. But we'll see. You know, we've done a couple Lotto Fridays. I've shared them on Twitter and the Discord. Most of them went pretty well, but I just kind of stopped doing them because I get a little bit anxious, especially if there's newer traders following me. I don't want them blindly trading lottos. So I'm just going to bring up some rough ideas on stream. I'm not going to really be talking about them on Twitter and Discord, and then maybe tomorrow I'll just give updates if any of them do anything crazy. So we're going to get to that in a second. Gold Miner says, so with a lot of the small cap names that have hit harmonics and bounced and the ones that have bled and coiling for a while now, is this building energy for massive moves when the Russell runs? If you just want my personal opinion, I think a lot of stocks that were super hot from pretty much November to January, so November 2020 to January of this year, I think a lot of stocks that were really hot then, I don't think they're done forever. I think we are going to see some sort of a, maybe not the same type of rally we saw like when the SPACs were super hot in EVs like last November, December, and then this January. Maybe we never see that again like how we saw it, but I do think a lot of those names, right, like there's a lot of SPACs, like just saying off the top of my head, a lot of those names I do think have massively corrected just because the overall sectors have corrected. And I think people are going to start, looking at those names once again because now they're at perceived potential value areas. But again, it's not for every stock. I'm just going to name a bunch off the top of my head. And I'm not naming these because I'm saying that I think they can go up or that they're bullish. I'm just trying to name stocks that kind of remind me of that sector from last year. Like you might remember Helion, obviously Fisker, Lucid at one point when it was CCIV. Let me think of other. DraftKings was one. There was like VLDR. There was Golden Nugget. Remember that gambling one? There was a lot of just like, remember those types of, even XL at one point. There was Lots and Fubo went crazy. A lot of those types of names. You remember those names that were like super hot, like November, December, January, like life-changing money for a lot of people. I'm not, the names I just mentioned, I'm not necessarily saying those specifically. I'm just saying those types of names. Those are just ones I can say off the top of my head. So I haven't even looked at those charts. I'm just saying those types of names. I do think that a lot of them have seen massive corrections, even QS, that just came up in my head as well. And I do think they're not going to just be in a downtrend forever. They've been in a downtrend for the whole year for the most part. So I do think you might kind of see some cool moves in those types of sectors. I do think you'll see another bounce there again. That's just my opinion. And it's not really like a technical thing. It's more of just maybe not even a fundamental thing, just like a sector thing. I just think a lot of that sector could be still oversold and just heavily lagging behind the market. So that's my thoughts there, but it's a very, very rough idea. So let's talk about lottos now. All right. So I wrote these on my phone while I was on the way home, and all right, pretty simple, honestly. So here are pretty much the rough ideas. Let me actually, let me draw these out a little bit just so they're a little bit easier to visualize. Okay. Before I do that though, Florida Nick just dropped a $5 super chat. Let's get some vibes in the chat for Florida Nick says, peasant pump, but put respect on champs vibes. Thank you very much for the tip, Florida Nick. Let's get some vibes in the chat for another tip. It's like every single night at this point, Florida Nick is just dropping the super chat. So let's get some more vibes in the chat for Florida Nick. Hope you're doing well. Thank you very much for the tip. It should pop up in a second here. All right, so before I even get into these lottos, just want to say 3 of them are just the indices, and then 1 of them is another stock I actually brought up last night. But really, these are kind of my ideas. All right. I don't know why. All right, there, it's about to pop up. There you go. All right, so let me actually go to the SPY. So first one, lotto idea for the SPY. All right, you're going to see a green line and a red line on all these lotto ideas I'm thinking of. Green line means if it can break out of this level, calls. And then red line means if it breaks under this level, puts. So very, very simple. I'm not using any crazy indicators like most trades. I'm just using simple support and resistance. So take a look at this green line. You can see the number and then the red one. So this is a SPY. First idea for lottos tomorrow, potentially. I'm not telling you to do this. You're going to make your own decision. You risk whatever you want, not financial advice. I'm just saying these are just rough ideas. So calls above 448.5 for the SPY, and then puts below 443 for the SPY. That's my first idea. Very, very simple. You could see that the SPY kind of rejected this resistance 3 times. So if it does break above it, you could see a nice move higher. And then on the other direction, this was pretty much like your lows of the week. So if it breaks under the weekly lows tomorrow, then maybe it has room to further downside. So I'm just going to be talking about the levels that I'm going to be looking at for calls and puts. I'm not telling you what contracts to get. So these are just the levels I'll be watching for calls or puts tomorrow. I'm actually going to be placing alerts on them. So if they do trigger, I'll know right away. And again, I don't even know if I'm going to play these for sure. Maybe there's some news that comes out tomorrow. You never know. So I'm just giving like rough ideas, not financial advice. Okay. So that's number 1, SPY. Number 2, and if you want to take a screenshot, go for it. Number 2 is QQQ. Calls above 379. Okay. And then puts below 374.10. All right, so you can see very similar type of idea. QQQ kind of rejected that upper 378 level 3 times. So if it breaks above it, maybe it sees a nicer move to the upside. And then on the opposite side, that 374 area has been your support. So if it breaks it, maybe there's further room to the downside. So I'm going to put alerts there, see if they trigger tomorrow to either direction. That's number 2. Number 3 is IWM. Most of them are very similar ideas, honestly. So IWM calls above 223.5. So I'm going to put a green line there, set my alert. And then puts below 220.13, so pretty much around right there. Make it red and then set my alert. So look at where the green one is for calls and then the red one for puts. Okay, take screenshots if you want. Again, I'm saying this for like each and every single one I'm going to do, because remember, lottos, you can lose whatever money you put in. So not financial advice. If you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. And then final one. So those were 3 indices. I shared SPY first, and then I shared QQQ, and then I just shared Russell. And then the final one is not an index. It's actually ROKU. Very, very simple idea here as well. I honestly don't even know if the puts will trigger. It has to go down more than 2%. But we'll see if futures stay right overnight. You never know. So first for ROKU, calls above 323.5. So let me just type that in manually. Okay. Really, it's just where that orange line is as well. Let me set an alert though. So calls above that for ROKU, and then I put for puts 313.30, which again is going to have a rough start to the day to even have that trigger. All right, so I'm going to make that red. I'm going to put an alert there, see if it triggers. So for ROKU, the idea here is really, especially on higher time frames, you can see that 323.43 was your low from June 3rd, and it was almost your lows on March 5th, and then also like April 5th. So that's like a historical level. And then even on lower time frames, you can see it kind of topped out there today as well. And it's already showed a few candle body highs at that level. So again, if you missed out on screenshots, just going to run through them all again. Remember, green number means potentially calls, red number means potentially puts. So you could set alerts there. Again, I'm not telling you which contracts to get. I'm just sharing the ideas that I would be looking at calls in general or puts in general. Is the stream lagging? I don't think it is. I'm not getting any notifications, but so yeah, contracts are up to you. In terms of contracts for lottos, for most of these, because they're all within like the really like the $200, $300, $400 range in terms of their prices. I would like say maybe it depends on your risk tolerance, but you could like let's say, all right, let me just go to the SPY for an example. Let's say calls trigger for the SPY, right? It gets up to that 448.5 level. Maybe you could get like $1 or $2 calls in the money. So let's say the current price tomorrow at some point on the SPY is 448.5. Maybe you can go ahead and get the 447 calls that expire tomorrow, right? So that way you still have a little bit of room for it to maybe, you know, break out, then come back down, then break back over. So you're not going out of the money. Because the thing is, if you go out of the money tomorrow on those calls, or even on puts, you lose whatever it is. If those calls or puts expire out of the money, whatever you put in, you lose. So you can play out of the money if you're just kind of trading around the premium and you're not holding it till the close. But again, don't go into this blindly. If you don't even know what I'm talking about, just ignore all of this, okay? So that's how I would look at it for both calls and puts. Just maybe $1 to $2 in the money for calls or for puts. And then if you get in and they kind of go back out of the money, maybe stop out. I mean, again, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying how I would personally look at it and how I will be looking at it tomorrow. I don't even know if I'm going to be playing any of these. It just depends. Maybe it's a super volatile day. If we have a very volatile day, I might just not play lottos because volatility can just crush ideas very easily. So those are just rough free ideas I wanted to share. I'm just going to go through all of them again. If you want to take screenshots, first one is SPY. Give you a few seconds to take a screenshot if you want. And then we got QQQ. I'll give you a few seconds to take a screenshot if you want. And then after that, we got IWM, same thing. Green for calls, red for puts if it triggers. Manage your risk and do not be stupid, okay? This is not something that you put all of your money into and hope it, moons and the contracts go up 300%. Manage your risk, scale out, have a plan. That's IWM. And then final one, ROKU. It's going to be tough for those puts to even trigger. If they do, we'll see. It may just also depend on how the market looks. So those are my free lotto ideas for tomorrow. That's 4 different ideas. Be careful on how you choose your contracts if you play them. Remember, whatever you put in, there's a chance of you losing. So not financial advice, just trying to talk about education with how you could look at supports and resistances and maybe trade around them, but it's always your choice. All right, so there you go. That's pretty much the breakdown of lottos. We'll talk about CLOV. After CLOV, we'll talk about Lucid, STC, Fisker as well. So let's kind of cover those featured tickers for the night. Then I'll go over the ongoing trades, I guess. Let me see what's some in the chat first, though. Maybe my TS cooldown as well. Also, we got like 57 people in here. Hit that like button if you didn't already. Doesn't hurt anybody, just helps out the algorithm. So let's get to 40 likes right now. Why not? All right, let's move over to the CLOV chart, which CLOV had a flat day today. It was down a little bit, not even 0.5%. So let's see what's up in the chat first. Menu says he's keeping an eye on Chewy for lottos tomorrow. Billy says, doesn't Lucid have news or meet event coming in on the 20th? I don't know. Medi, yeah. I mean, a lot of the times when I play lottos, just personally, not sharing with anybody, I just play, especially if it's on an index and it's like a quick thing. Because again, for a lot of those lotto ideas, the trades could last 2 or 3 minutes. If the index is moving up 0.1%, that can make your lottos go up 30, 40, 50%. Like, it depends on how you pick your contract. So they're very quick. Also, if you're going to be playing lottos in general, don't just randomly pick it because your lotto idea triggered and then you walk away for a few hours. You have to be monitoring them. while you're in the lotto. So keep that in mind as well. It's not for people who are busy either. Neutron Flux Lab says, guys, Champ is literally teaching you class. Yeah, hopefully that helped out some people who didn't know about just day trading. That's just the simplest form ever. I'm not even talking about divergence and patterns and VWAP and EMAs and harmonics and candlesticks. That's just straight up, 2-day, 3-day highs, 1-day lows, weekly lows, just using those as ideas. DF TradingView does not automatically chart the support and resistance for me. I chart it myself. What are my thoughts on the Seeking Alpha thing with Clover? I really don't care. Just like I didn't care about the $7 downgrade. I also especially don't care about an article from Seeking Alpha, I think from a random blogger. So, you give me a $17 price upgrade from, a good institution, and then I'll care, but I could care less about what some random person on Seeking Alpha says, even if I have the same opinion. It's just, where's the validity in that? So I think it's just kind of, not stupid, but it's just, I think it misled a lot of people I was seeing on Reddit and Twitter today. So I could care less about, really, I have my own price targets for Clover. I don't care what other people are saying. But obviously you have to be aware of them, because especially with the $7 downgrade that came last week, that did affect the price. So you have to be aware of it in terms of other people might care about it. So maybe that's why you have to care about it, right? Neutron Flux Lab says, if you like your money and haven't traded options, don't know what IV, theta, delta, ask, bid, spread, Bandit and Charm is, then don't start. Don't start with lottos if you're trying to get into options. And also, there's a free video on options in the free course on my channel. The link's in the description, or just go to my channel and go to the playlist. It's the final videos of the course, I believe. Actually, no, the day trading workshop's the final one. It's like the second to last video of the course. It's like a 1-hour breakdown of options. We're not doing take requests tonight, most likely. I said in the start of the stream. What's up, Joe? Hope you're doing well. And yeah, all right, let's talk about Clover. What's up with Clover today? Daily candle, kind of the same as this day over here, which I think was Tuesday. So, okay. MACD, still the same as yesterday. RSI, still hitting bullish divergence. You really can't have much of a technical change when you have a flat day. So on higher time frames, there's really no change. Like I said yesterday, there was a 100% chance of breaking out of the wedge today. It broke out of the wedge. Does that mean anything? I really don't know, because again, this is not like a real falling wedge on the daily. It's just like a visual thing where the price has been dropping and you've been getting decreasing volume and a decreased spread. But one thing to notice though, is the first day that you're outside of the wedge, you actually saw a pretty interesting increase in volume. I think it was around 20 million on the volume today for Clover. I mean, you had like 15 million on Tuesday. So small increase in volume. In the morning, there was some news that came out about I think it was COVID offering, like, for people who are older under their Medicare plan to go to their houses and give them the vaccines there. So I just think in general that's a really cool thing for the company to do. I don't know if other companies are doing that. I just, I saw that news, and you got to pop in the morning off of it. I do think, I guess we'll never know, if Clover would have popped regardless in the morning without the news. But if you look at the timing, it was pretty much lined up perfectly with the PR release. So you did have a pop in the morning, and it went all the way up to about 860-ish, which was a previous resistance. I put a little red line right here. You could see this is where Clover topped out at, and it was showing resistance there at the end of August for a few days before it eventually ran to 11 at the beginning of this month. So that's kind of where it topped out, and then it just went all the way back down. So I just think today, quick summary, was just pretty much price went up on news, and then people sold the news. So not too much of a surprise there. It's kind of the same exact thing as yesterday night stream. Again, it didn't really move today. If you look at the open and the close, pretty much around the same price. One thing you do have though is your 4-hour hidden bullish divergence is definitely starting to continuing to developing. I know that's very improper grammar, but the MACD is continuing to wane. That's the easiest way to put it, which is good. It's developing that hidden bullish divergence on the 4-hour. You did have a bearish engulfing candle on your first 4-hour candle. Didn't really have much fall through on the second 4-hour candle, just kind of like low volume. And it's just still kind of around this creek area, still above 8. Even if it falls under 8 tomorrow or the day after, or whenever, you still have that 785 level from this low over here and then from this low. So yeah, not too much time I want to spend on this. You know, if there was some sort of an update, you know, I would. But really, the really only update I see is the 4-hour MACD is waning back towards green, which is good. So, you know, can't get too much of a technical change off of a flat day. So just in general, want to see volume, want to see moves uphold. I mean, honestly, since Clover was at 11 last Tuesday, there hasn't really been one intraday move that is held into the close. Every single day it's been red, obviously. So since the downgrade, pretty much it's just been, there's been no rally at all. I mean, you had a small rally like leading up, like literally like right over here. I believe the downgrade came out like, was the downgrade on the 10th or something? Was it? I think the downgrade might have been last Thursday, like exactly a week ago after hours. So what day was that? The 9th? Yeah, so pretty much I think it was this, you know. So Clover actually Clover went to 11 last Tuesday, went down to 920, which was that previous resistance. It started bouncing off 920, then it started pulling back a little bit, and then this is where it closed before the downgrade, right over here, and then all of this is what's happened after the downgrade. So since the downgrade, really in general, since 11, you haven't had one high or low on the 1-hour chart, so it's still just in the short-term downtrend. The easiest way to put it is volume and a high or low, at least on the 1 hour, is the main thing to kind of look for. Okay, so we'll see what happens there. We can take a quick look at the options, if anything changed there. The algo sentiment, the algo score is actually pretty high right now. Calls did go back up today in terms of volume, but not open interest. So I believe that means that people who were already in calls might have been trading around their calls, but there wasn't many new calls that got open today. However, the call to put ratio today was pretty much all calls, which is interesting. So pretty good flow today in terms of options. I don't know if there's any much of a change. I think the $10 calls, they were at like 100K last week, then they fell down to like 80K, and now they're back around 90. So they're moving a little bit. I can't remember what the 9 calls were at. I think the rest is pretty much the same. Yeah, 15 was already around 60K on open interest. So not too much of a change in the options chain, except the $10 strikes have lost like $10,000 in open interest. But I think that happened at last week's expiration. I think just maybe a lot of people last Tuesday when it went up to 11 bought weekly calls and they were FOMOing, and they just, you know, expired out of the money on Friday. So that's probably why that happened, but not too much of a change. Apart from that, we can go over and see, this is Trade Ticks, by the way. Just want to shout out the platform. Great platform. Not paid to say that, but they're just amazing. Flow is pretty good today. You got a few sweeps in the morning, and that might have been around the news. You actually had weekly calls that got swept for 8.5 strikes, and then you had next Friday's calls for $9 strikes. You had almost 100K that went into those. You had a $20 call buy today, about 50K went into that, but it's for January. You got a few 8.5 calls again for tomorrow, so there was a few more. I mean, that's like 100K right there, and then this is like, it's like 150K went into calls for 8.5 tomorrow, and they were swept, which means whoever was getting those calls wanted to get them right away. And the stock price was 823 when they were getting it, so it was towards like the lower end of the day when they bought them. That's really it. That's pretty much what I see. That's the most notable thing from the options today on Clover. Yeah. So we actually keep this open for when we talk about FSR. I've never looked at the FSR options stuff, but I want to take a look at it. Okay. Maybe we can just talk about FSR right now, I guess. We can move into FSR. But yeah, keep hitting that like button if you didn't already. Let's get to 50 likes. If you're not subscribed, help us get to 3,500 subs. It would be amazing to hit that. And feel free, if you haven't already, to check out the links in the description. There's the link to Premium there, which is where you can find options trades, weekly watch lists, additional swing trades on top of the free ones I put out for everybody. There's the free course there. It's like, I think 13 or 14 videos, a few hours long of just straight up free education. That link's in the description. The Discord link's in the description. The Discord is free for anybody to join. You can get paid bots for free. You can get a bunch of, not financial advice, but just non-financial advice, chart ideas. and just meet a lot of cool people. Over 2,000 traders for you to meet. So check out all the links in the description. If you've never looked there, there's definitely something in the description that can help you out with trading and education. So make sure to do that. And those are my plugs. So let's see what's up in the chat before we move on to Fisker. There might have been some questions or whatnot. Florida Nick says, don't like alpha, but clearly someone is paying to advertise. I don't know who posted that or why they did. I'm just kind of ignoring it. It doesn't really mean much to me. What about the big buys? I saw that there was a $10 million print. You know, sometimes people argue that when you have a large print right at the open or right at the close, it could just be a cluster of orders that got grouped together. Other times they could be real, because sometimes, you know, let's say not smart money, but big money like to maybe buy at the close or buy at the open, or sell at the close or sell at the open. So that could be another reason. But yeah, I mean, if it's real, that's interesting. 10 million bucks. You know, somebody with 10 million bucks is bullish on CLOV if that print was correct. And by the way, I always say big money, not smart money, because honestly, I don't know. I just think sometimes a lot of people just overpraise a lot of these analysts, and I just don't think that they're that smart. I just think they got a nice job and they get paid to do what they do, but just my opinions. I've just seen a lot of, especially in the last few weeks, I've just seen a lot of weird analyst calls and predictions and whatnot. It's just weird to me. But yeah, obviously there are a bunch of genius analysts that are much smarter than me. I'm not saying I'm smarter than them. I'm just saying there are also a lot of analysts that are not super smart. What else is here? Mehdi says, analysts barely make more than the S&P 500. Most don't even beat the market. Yeah, I mean, a lot of their analysts have certain, you know, risk factors, especially just institutions in general. They have to really be risk off with their clients' money. So they can't really maybe trade at the same type of volatility that retail traders can. But hey, they're still here. They might have had bailouts, but a lot of them are still here. All right, so yeah, Fisker went to 12 today. We've been talking about this for a while. We're at pretty much 12-ish. Fisker will be at the PCZ of a bullish Gartley. Harmonics on Fisker worked beautifully. I mean, this is literally where the stream started. This is probably where I got my first like 2,000 or 3,000 followers on Twitter. It was the bullish butterfly on Fisker that was absolutely legendary. I shared a trade idea over here as a 100% profit trade last October. As you can see what happened after that. And then again, in May, I shared another trade idea that was a 60% profit. If you were all here, it was another, I think it was a butterfly. Yeah, it was yet another butterfly right down over here. So I shared another trade, and then look, after hitting the PCC of a butterfly in May and then hitting the targets of the trade that we had, it just goes into a new harmonic. So it's like literally harmonic into harmonic into I mean, what is this chart? It's just insanity. The composite operator is just playing a game with me on this one. It's just harmonic after harmonic on the daily time frame. And you, a lot of times you get divergence at them, right? You had classic bullish divergence when I put out that trade alert for Fisker at $10 in May. So now Fisker's at 12, and you're at the PCZ of a Gartley. So it's actually, these first two are butterflies. This is a different harmonic pattern. It's a Gartley. However, you don't actually have divergence on the daily currently. That's the thing. You know, I've been talking about that at $12 for a while, but what I also said is I want to see this happen as well. So this little red MACD island, I want to see this, you know, probably ASAP switch back over to green, and then you would have triple classic bullish divergence on the daily for Fisker at the PCZ of a bullish Gartley, which is also ironically a historical support level. This $12.15 level has been on my chart for weeks now. If you've just been watching the streams, you've already seen it. If you follow me on Twitter, I shared this chart a few days ago. Same thing if you're in the Discord, you would have seen this chart. And I shared this 1215 level was on my chart since Fisker was like over here. Actually might have been on my chart for a really long time. I don't remember when I put it there, but where did Fisker bounce today? $12.14. Literally tapped it and then had a 4% bounce off of that. So a lot of people actually messaged me today saying just because they saw that level on my chart, they had a nice trade around it. Somebody earlier in the chat was bringing it up. So yeah, I mean, almost a bullish pin bar as well on the daily. All I want to see is that daily divergence. You actually do have potential 4-hour classic bullish divergence if the MACD starts waning to red. And then on the 1 hour, actually, no, you lost it because of the dip today. But yeah, Fisker did, I forgot which, let me see, it's probably a headline here. No, why is it not here? September 7th. It's not updated on TradingView, but I mean, we could pull it up. That'll probably just be in the news. The reason for Fisker dropping today was, why is it not here? Did nobody cover this? Okay, got it. All right. Downgrade to neutral from Bank of America. Firm lowered the price target from 18. What was it? 27 before that, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. So downgrade in the morning, dropped Fisker, and actually brought us to the PCC. So I'm not complaining for now. Maybe it does unfortunately take it lower. We'll see. But still, that neutral price target is still above the current price, but obviously it's lower than their previous one. I think, didn't Bank of America do the same type of thing to Clover? How do I look that up? CLOV, Bank of America. Didn't they have like a higher price target and then they brought it down for Clover? Where do I even find this? Somebody help me out here. Are you all are saying yes? Okay, so I'll just trust the chat. But yeah, I think they did the same thing if I'm not mistaken for Clover. So yeah, same type of thing for Fisker, I guess. We'll see what happens. Okay. There's no swing idea for Fisker just yet because I'm still waiting on this. Does that mean that it can't go up? No, it actually could just hit this PCZ and just start running. When I'm going to be putting out an idea for Fisker, I just want it to be there's no perfection in trading, but I want there to be as many variables as possible. Like over here, you know, when we got the trade off of that, and then even over here. So I'm just personally, you have pretty much everything except for divergence. So I'm just waiting to see that MACD at least start to wane. It could happen tomorrow or the day after, whatever it is, but it's obviously at the top of my watch list, so I'm keeping an eye on it. I was watching it today, and we'll see what could happen. I just want to see a little bit more of confirmation. You know, just getting there is good, getting to the PCZ is good, but you got to see confirmation as well. And it does look like my stream might be chopping up a little bit right now for whatever reason. But also, Mehdi was sharing this in the Discord earlier. I think I talked about this on stream a couple months ago, but the short interest in Fisker has... All right, can we take this out? Really, now you're following me? All right, can you see it right here? 31% short interest in Fisker. Actually, it was lower before, so there have been there has been an increase in shorts for Fisker throughout the year. So I think personally, I think over 20% is a squeezable short interest. So you have that, and then also I've never really looked at the options data. Well, look at that today. You had a lot of call volume increase. Maybe a lot of other people are looking at the PCC of the Gartley. And the options chain, I'm gonna be honest, it's really not that impressive. I mean, really it's just like the 15, you also have the 20. But even that, like, I guess maybe getting 35,000 of interest at 20 is okay, but those might just be leaps. Yeah, I haven't looked at this till now. Not super impressive, honestly. Don't see anything that stands out. I think Clover has a stronger options chain, but on paper, Fisker has a higher short interest right now. Obviously, Clover had a much, much higher short interest on paper a few months ago, but that has dropped on paper. So that's really Fisker. I wanted to cover that as well. Another similar stock is Lucid. We talked about it last night, how it broke out of this falling wedge with classic bullish divergence on the daily. I shared this to all of you last night, and then Lucid did gap up today, but even if you bought it at the open, from the open to, let's see, from the open to the close after hours. From the open to the close after hours, it went up about 8%. So went up to 22.51 in after hours. So good move there for Lucid. I think they got downgraded by Adam Jonas, and then I think they maybe got upgraded like this week as well. So just kind of a gap down after a downgrade and a gap up after an upgrade. Kind of just, I guess, analysts playing tug of war on this one. I don't know. But yeah, nice move there for Lucid. Just wanted to give an update. I do like how it did close above 21. That's an important level. It was your lows from over here. It was your high on May 26th. It was your low on July 19th. And now you've closed back above it. Next major resistance is 24-ish on the daily. But hopefully you can hold above 21. It closed like right above the 200-day moving average after hours, but we have to see if we can do that during market hours. So that's Lucid. And then also SDC, we talked about it last week. We talked about it last night, where I said that it looked like it was back testing the breakout of this falling wedge after hitting the PCZ of a bullish butterfly with classic bullish divergence on the daily. And SDC went up 6% during the day. And then after hours, SDC closed at 638. So from the open to the after hours close, about a 14% move there. So I talked about both of those last night. Very nice moves. Good stuff on those. Just want to bring them up. But look at that. We got your breakout. Then you spent 2 days back testing the breakout. And then today you got to push higher. It's not really a textbook break hook and go because you didn't get like a large volume bullish engulfing candle. But still got a nice green candle after a doji candle yesterday. And you still are above the supply line of this wedge for SDC. Obviously, there's a lot of chatter on social media. And this one, I did look at the options. I closed the tab, but I was looking at the options data for SDC yesterday, and it was pretty impressive. So I wanted to bring that up as well. Yeah, just in terms of the ongoing trades, there's not that many. We already talked about Litecoin. Neo went down 2% today. I just want to see it get back above 40 before hitting the stop. I said the same thing last night. I'm saying the same thing again. BLNK has been stop hunted a few times now. It already, like I said, like a few days ago, it already broke under the symmetrical triangle level. So yeah, you know, pretty much like the last 3 weeks of August, we had really, really good weeks for the swings. And now just, you know, the last 2 weeks, the win rate's not been great on the sheet, but again, I've kept the stops tight. BLNK is probably the loosest stop at 10% loss that I can think of. I think BLNK's actually the lowest on the sheet right now out of all the swings. So again, it's not always about win rate. Of course, I want a better win rate than what this week is, but just trying to keep the losses small. I think, you know, especially compared to how it was back in March and even the beginning of May, I've learned a lot in terms of how to let the trades have tighter stops and let them even breathe while having tighter stops. And I think the sheet shows that. You can go back to the horrible week that was like the first week of May or whatever, and then even the first week of March, and the sheet was like, there was like 10 to 20% losses on some swings. But now you can see it. You know, I found a way to really kind of learn how to play stocks right off of levels that you can have tighter stops and they can still work. Obviously it's not foolproof. You know, sometimes the stop hunted ones can run. I know Medi and the lump have had some luck there. But yeah, that's just kind of the update with the swings. Like I said, I think I said this at the end of last week. I said I was going to be focusing more on day trades for the short term. That's why I really haven't put out. I only put out one new swing this week for non-premium members, which was CLOV, which obviously we've talked about. I did put out a few new swings for premium members. Actually, 2 of them that I shared this week are in profit. One of them's down like 1% or something. And yeah, I'm just really, I mean, I did put out a few swings for premium members that so far doing okay this week, but just been focusing on day trades and had a weird start on Monday and Tuesday, but yesterday and today were really good for day trades. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. So yeah, did I miss anything? Covered a lot. Futures still are red, but not too much. Bitcoin's around 48K. Yeah, I think we might call it here. Let's get to 50 likes at least. If you didn't hit the like button, just help us get there before we end the stream. It's the final stream of the week. I won't be live until Sunday night. And probably no workshop this weekend. Obviously, there's not going to be a workshop every weekend. I know I did one last weekend, but it'll just be like maybe once a month type of thing. I haven't done homework this week, so I got to do that this weekend. But literally today, I woke up at 8 a.m. It's now 10 p.m. and I haven't relaxed since. Well, actually, I did kind of relax for a couple hours at college, but Still wasn't like just at home chilling or whatever. So I might just get to bed so I could maybe trade some Lottos tomorrow or just look at what the market looks like. So yeah, I think we're gonna call it here. I did say earlier in the stream we're not gonna be doing take requests tonight. So I said like 2 or 3 times. Again, just I've been, you know, I haven't really relaxed for like 14 hours in a row. So I'm gonna go relax for like maybe an hour and then go to sleep. So yeah, thank you for watching the stream. Let's just see what's in the chat if I missed anything. Oh, Fisk went to 1290 after hours? I didn't even know that. Wow. Have a good one, Florida Nick. Thank you again for the tip earlier. Chef Dowdy Trader says, Champion Vibe, thanks, bud. Great stuff. Have great trade smart. Thank you. And likewise. And yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for the night. Check out the links in the description. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. And if you are trading Lottos tomorrow, good luck. Remember, all the things I was talking about earlier, none of that was financial advice. Lottos are high risk, high reward. You do whatever you want. It's your money. It's not mine. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll trade some of those ideas tomorrow. Maybe I won't. If you're a premium member, I will share contract ideas if I do trade any. If not, then maybe we'll look at other stuff, or maybe it's just a hands-off day. We won't know until we see. So I guess we'll find out tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you for watching the stream, and peace out.